Hey, I'm Jasmine Majoros, and I'm here with Regan. Can you just kind of state your position in MMA?
So I've been doing MMA for a while now. Probably for the past maybe 14 years. Um, I didn't have a gym down here at first. My parents basically just got me a punching bag, and it was just in the basement, and I basically just had Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and some other movies that I could try copy. But until my parents could afford me to go to Calgary and to actually go to a gym, I started off from there, and I've been going ever since.
Where did you train at the time?
My first gym was at Victory Martial Arts. That was in the Northeast. I trained there for a bit. I did a continuous tournament, and I won gold in that continuous tournament. And then after that, I wanted to get into MMA because Victory Martial Arts was just strictly Muay Thai. So I went to Dynamic MMA after that with Coach Vince, and I started my MMA journey from there. I didn't actually get a MMA fight out of Dynamic. I think a little after there was a closer MMA gym that was in Strathmore, and that was with Justin Smith. He actually got me my very first cage fight, and it was in Yellowknife, and we actually we flew all the ways out there, so it was pretty cool. And now I am currently at Champions Creed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So then walk me through your first experience going to the octagon. So it's an octagon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was an octagon.
It's not different from real UFC fight. Not that you're not a real UFC fighter.
There is some organizations with guys that just fight in rings or a mat or something, but for most promotions it is in a cage. Mm-hmm. But I said my first fight was in Yellowknife, and we flew out there, and I was super stoked. I was like, I finally get to fight in the cage. When I got there, I was super nervous. I went in there. There's two corner rooms. There was like a red, and then there was a blue. But they picked us up at the hotel, and all the fighters from the hotel got inside this van. And the intensity in this van, like everyone was just focused. You could tell everyone was kind of a little scared, possibly, and be like, because in MMA you don't really know what to expect. But as soon as we got to the arena, they gave me to the blue room, and when I went inside this room, I met some of the fighters. Everyone was focused, and then the first guy got called. He came back, and he was just all bloody. His lip was cut open very bad, and I was like, holy shit, what am I getting myself into? Sorry for swearing. So the next guy went after that, and he looked even worse. And then finally, the dude who came after that, he won, but he was still beat up. And then they finally called my name, and you could hear, like, we're basically under the bleachers, these rooms, and you could just hear people. You could hear the building getting more crowded. Anyways, they said, "Running Rabbit, you're up," and I was like super nervous. I grabbed the Siksika flag, and they played my song from Hatebreed, Never Let It Die, and I was like, that was one of the best moments ever, and it's just like coming out. But when I came out, everyone was like booing me. Like there was so much people booing me, and I could only hear a native dude. I could tell he was intoxicated, and he was just yelling Skoden like to the top of his lungs.
Yeah.
And anyways, my opponent came out, Sean, and people were going crazy because he was a hometown hero there. Mm-hmm. And it made me even more nervous, right? So it was like no one's on my side, and it's like, okay. But so the bell rings, and we start fighting. and I got to feel this guy, and to be honest, like I felt very comfortable, and I just felt like I was meant to be there at that moment. Anyways, round 2 came. He was getting tired, so I decided to throw a very hard right hand, and it caught him right on the chin, and he went down, and he was out. He was out cold. The crowd was going from cheering crazy for Sean to like come back, and then everything just went quiet when he got knocked out. And all you could hear is my coach going crazy, and still that intoxicated native guy still yelling Skoden.
Wow, I'm proud of you that's the first time I've actually heard that. So, and it kind of reminded me of Spider-Man. So like when he walks out, when he was facing up with Bonesaw, everyone's like booing him. So yeah, there's your Spider-Man experience.
My name is the Human Spider.
So then, why were they booing you? Just because you're not from there, or you're
just probably because it wasn't from there, and they wanted their boy to win, right? So
yeah,
okay, yeah. But afterwards, like when I went back into like I got ready, and I felt very good. I didn't really have a scratch on my face, and then I just sat down to watch the rest of the fights, and there was people coming up to me saying good fight, great fight. But yeah, it was an absolute amazing experience.
Wow. Who was all in attendance like to support you on your side?
There was only my coaches.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So like no one else?
Yeah,
went?
so it's like it's in Yellowknife. I don't really know anyone out there.
Wow, I can imagine that was the experience being there by yourself, and then you finally, won, and so
yeah.
Interesting. So then what does a typical fight look like? Is there like a certain technique everyone kind of has to follow, like kind of like tango, there's certain steps you got to do?
Well,
or do you just get in there and you just start beating the crap out of somebody?
So the thing with like mixed martial arts is what I like about it is like it's not just strictly straight boxing, it's not strictly just Muay Thai, it's not strictly just jiu-jitsu or wrestling. It's all of it all mixed into one. So really there's all sorts of styles that make a fighter. And for me, I'm like I like to stand up. I like to, because I'm original like Muay Thai fighter, and I really enjoy standing up, and the crowd just loves it when you stand up instead of just holding someone on the ground or something, which is also like a safer way, just to grab someone, not taking damage to the face or anything, and then just like submitting them type of thing. But it all depends. Once your fight is announced, you have to kind of look up this person, and maybe if you have some fights on YouTube, or you could get a hold of fights of them, you study that person. You study them. And then there's also the people that don't like studying because it makes them nervous, and it makes them they just want to go in there and just like get it done type of thing, and kind of just go with the flow. But me, I like to do some background checks on my fighters just to see the way they move, the way their footing goes, so I could counter onto that.
So now that we're on the subject, what would you say is the biggest advantage you have over your style of fighting compared to everyone else you've fought?
So again, it'll bring me back to my parents' basement, right? And they bought me the Century red bag. So usually when you start training martial arts, there's technique that you have to go by. Like your coach will get mad at you if you're not doing this right, if you're not doing that right, and they'll make you do it right. But me, I didn't have that. So I was just in the basement, just doing my own thing and trying to do the best I could to my ability of like Bruce Lee movies, Van Damme movies, and Rocky and all this stuff. Even Mortal Kombat. I know it's a little corny, but That's all I had.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. But I kind of feel that it was maybe like a blessing in disguise, because it made me very unorthodox and very awkward type of fighting, where like people aren't used to that. You know what I mean? They're used to the traditional how you hold your stance and everything. But when people, like, even till this day at Champions Creed, there's like UFC fighters there, be sparring, like top fighters of the world, and they're like, your style is very unorthodox and like I guess weird, I guess, but it's very hard to capitalize on. And people call me Ferguson at the gym, which he is a guy who trains by himself a lot. So me and Tony Ferguson have kind of a lot in common.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then, so you made a movie. Not a movie. Well, a movie, right? Or a documentary, right?
A short film documentary. Yeah.
So, kind of walk us through that process and how you got it to get off its feet, because it's won some awards, right?
Yes.
Yes, and then just kind of let us know what awards it won.
Okay, so I think it was during the pandemic. During the pandemic, it was definitely like dark times for a lot of people, and for some reason, me and I used to have a friend in high school. His name was Brett Kenworthy. We used to jam together, talk about horror movies and all this stuff. We were really good friends, but like after high school, you know how people kind of like separate and go their own ways. But we connected again, and we wanted to make we wanted to make like a horror film and stuff. But once we actually met up with each other, we basically just he suggested let's just do a documentary on one of your fights and how you come about on like the reserve and stuff. And it's like, yeah, let's do it. So as immediately after that phone call with Brett, I call up the president of Unified MMA, and I told him, hey, do you have any fights? I wouldn't mind fighting on your card. And he was like, well, I have one for December 3rd if you wanna fight. And it was I think he offered me a fighter. That fighter didn't pull through. I forget his name, but Derek Hoza was the guy who I fought on December 3rd. Very, very awesome stand-up guy, and he keeps coming forward. But after that phone call, every single time I know that I have a fight, my workout and intensity gets like it goes on another level, and that's all I think about. Anyways, Brett came out to the reserve, and we started filming. Just me running in the prairies and like the Badlands, and just kind of like the feel and like our beautiful land and everything. And honestly, I didn't really expect the documentary to be what it was and what it came out to be. But like as we were filming and doing all these interviews and everything, he was asking me questions. It was a lot of filming, but he really narrowed it down. Anyways, when the fight came, I managed to get him inside the building. I asked the president, Sonny, to if he could come in and if he could film and stuff. And it's going to be for a short documentary, and he allowed it. Anyways, I was in the back, and I was super nervous because it's been like years since my last fight before that. And it was my very first time fighting on my homeland. I've always fought off reserve in the cage. So when they called my name, I came out, and you just hear like a bunch of leelies and like war cries, and like it was really awesome. It was an insane hype. And after the fight, I think in the first minute of the fight, it was the first minute of the fight, my pinky, I couldn't feel it. We got into a scramble, me and Derek Hoza, and my pinky completely broke. It snapped, and it was dangling off my hand. And I looked at it, because I never seen my pinky like that ever. And I went into shock, and it was the first minute of the fight. And I remember getting a kick to the side and then a punch to the face. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm in a cage fight. I grabbed Derek Hose and I kneed him. Anyways, I finished the rest of the round, and I thought I was, in my head, I almost thought I was done. And then my other part of my brain was like, let's just keep going. But anyways, I went to the corner, and I didn't want to show anyone my finger, because if your opponent knows that your finger's busted, or a ref knows that they could possibly stop the fight, or Derek Hose will take advantage of it. Yeah. But anyways, I secretly I looked at my pinky, and I kind of put it back into place. And then I told my coach my like pinky's broken, and then he looked at my pinky, and it's like, he gave me this little speech in the corner where he was like, he's like, that right now that doesn't matter. You put way too much work into this, Regan. Don't lose it over a broken pinky. Yeah. And he's like, when you're old and when you're on your deathbed, you're gonna wish that you went back out there and you fought this guy. And you're like, you don't give up in front of your people. Like, you gotta keep going, Regan. Anyways, I still had 2 more rounds with this like dismantled finger, and like so I went back out there, and I performed pretty good, but I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do, just because like every time I grabbed them and stuff, my pinky would just be out of commission, right? And it just really hurt. But the end of the fight came, and they like raised my hand. I jumped on top of the cage, and I just yelled as loud as I could, and like the people like just went crazy on the side, and even the Napigoans were going crazy. Anyways, after that, it was all caught on film, and even a little bit of like stories of like I guess like mythical creatures as the Sasquatch. You catch a little bit of something like that in the documentary. But once it was all said and done, Brett edited it. I was actually living in Victoria, BC for a bit there, and I went back to BC. I started working, I was training there, and then Brett's like, yeah, it's done. Like it's completely done, and I think you're going to be mind blown to see what it is. It's pretty crazy. Anyways, he sent me a trailer for it, and I was just mind blown just off the trailer. But not too long after that, I was like, I have to go back and see this, and I'll also always come back and visit family and stuff. Balance Medicine Wheel. Came back, and I went into Brett's. He lives right across from the Sal Dome, and we both just sat down, and he's like, "You ready for this?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like so stoked. But he showed me the whole documentary, and like honestly, I was kind of like tears of joy at the end. I was like, "Really, man?" I was like, really?
Yeah.
But it was absolutely mind blowing. Anyways, there was a few parts in there where we were second guessing, like maybe we should edit this, maybe people might get offended off of it, but he's just like, it's completely real. I think we should leave it the way it is. And anyways, we submitted the documentary, a bunch of film festivals, and CAF, Central Alberta Film Festival, we got nominated for them. And the documentary was screened on the big screen in Red Deer, which was pretty cool. I just never ever thought I'd see myself on a big screen.
In Red Deer.
In Red Deer. In Red Deer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyways, they did Q&A and everything, and then we went to the Red Carpet Awards, and it was just it was like celebrity type of thing. And like me, I don't dress celebrity. I was like walking around with a Slayer shirt, Metallica shirt, or something. Like, I'm not used to that bougie stuff. But anyways, I dressed up very nice for this, and when the nominations came for audience best audience choice awards. I think there was 4 short films out of I don't know how many short documentaries. When they called Running Rabbit, me and like Brett just looked at each other like really, and then we like went up and I was so nervous in front of like all these people. It's just like a bunch of lights looking up at you. There's cameras on you, and I was just like very, very, very nervous. But once I did my speech, kind of went into it just a little bit, and then I caught the crowd pretty good off the bat to like make me feel a little bit comfortable. I told them I requested the Star Wars theme song when I was supposed to walk up here, but apparently that didn't happen, and like everyone started laughing, and that just like calmed me right down. You know what I mean? Like where I could actually finish my speech. Anyways, they handed me an award. I finished my speech, and the guys ended up playing the Imperial March right after, like when I was like, I said thank you to everyone, thank you for coming out, and then the Imperial March Star Wars song came on, and it was so cool. I was like, and then after that, red carpet pictures, and then I think a week after, we got an email that we got nominated for another one. It was the Calgary Underground Film Festival. So I was like, okay, here we go again. They played the movie at the Palace Theater. Oh no, Globe Cinema.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Globe Cinema. So we went there, and they played it on a big screen again. This time there was more people from the reserve and also my gym and stuff. Yeah, and then I think after that showing, we won another award for audience choice again. So we're gonna be going to other film festivals too. We got nominated for other film festivals. We're just waiting back right now.
So it's won 2 so far.
Yeah, 2 awards. 2 awards.
And then it's been premiered 3 times?
3 times, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because of the Blackfoot Film Festival. Yeah.
I was hoping I could catch that one, but I kind of had to leave that day, so sorry I didn't get to see it. It's
all good. There's another short film that we're working with right now, and it's called The Root of the Root of It All. And my friend Kim that films that, we're planning to collaborate and show the film in Calgary again. So you'll definitely have a chance to come check it out.
In Calgary?
In Calgary.
Okay,
again.
well, I live up there, so there's no excuse now.
There you go.
And then, so do you have any other fights coming up? And if you do you think all that you've accomplished so far just kind of keeps you motivated, or do you have other ways of keeping motivated before a fight?
Like for right now, I was supposed to fight. Like recently, I was supposed to fight, but I was supposed to fight at the BMO Center, but I ended up injuring my spine. I think it was the last sparring. Like it was a Friday, and then I was supposed to fight the next Friday after that. So that sparring round, me and my friend Ramil were sparring and stuff, and I just landed very awkward on my spine. I heard something in my spine, but I didn't think anything of it. I felt it on the drive back home, and then when I woke up in the morning, I couldn't even get out of my bed, and I could barely feel my legs. And I was at the point of almost like calling out to like my dad. It's like, hey, I can't move, I can't get out of bed. So I ended up rolling off the bed, and then I managed to slowly get up, and I went to the hospital, and my doctor's like, no, you're not cage fighting. It's either that or you need your spine. So that got canceled. That definitely got canceled.
I mean, spine is an important part of the body.
Yeah. So hoping early 2024, I will have some fight news soon.
And then you're okay to continue fighting? Like, it's not a real big, devastating
No.
blow
It's
to your
it's
career?
it's nothing. It wasn't as like it wasn't career-ending injury,
Okay.
but it definitely hurt it. I'll tell you that.
I think that happened one time. We went sliding as a kid, and I got landed on, and for a minute there, I couldn't feel my bottom half. So I just kind of laid there for a minute, but I got it back, and then kind of ever since then, my back's been kind of sore and gets sore easily. So maybe I should go get that checked out.
Chiropractor.
Yeah.
Suction cups. Yeah.
So aside from your career and your training, what does a typical day look like for you?
A typical day is like I think like mostly like everyone that follows me. It's just I guess I work a lot. I tend to like I do carpentry, so my average day is usually get up in the morning, put on some Buddy Holly or like some old school tunes, and I'll cook some breakfast, get ready for the day, do some yoga, then I'll go to work. At the end of work, I will go home, and then I'll head up to Calgary, then I'll go train. Mm-hmm. And then I probably won't get home till maybe 10:30 or 11, and I'll go to sleep, and I'll do it all over again.
So you don't have like any time for yourself, basically?
Yeah, it's just MMA is for me it's the hardest sport in the world. It's just because the training wise, like mm-hmm. the dedication that you have to put into it. For me, it's for your trainer. For your opponent, I always picture my opponent as like, okay, I could be like sitting on the couch right now and I could like eat a cheeseburger. But if I'm doing that, for some reason my brain's always telling me that my opponent's at the gym giving her, and like and me, I'm just eating a cheeseburger.
Don't be so hard on yourself. Enjoy that cheeseburger if you have no elder time.
Don't get me wrong. I will. I'm not like crazy like health fitness freak like that. I love my food and I will indulge. Mm-hmm. Maybe Saturday and Sunday, or it so happens maybe I get invited and there's Indian tacos on Wednesday. I will definitely indulge and enjoy food, but I'll make sure that I burn it off the next couple days. Is
it easy for you to kind of like burn it off, and so is that why you like to eat a lot? Because it's easy to burn off?
it actually really is, but like now that I'm getting older, it's getting a little bit more hard to do that. But like if I ate bad for like 2 days straight, like that would be like if I went to the gym after that, I would like just feel like absolute garbage.
Really?
Yeah, just because. Your body is your temple. Your body it's like a vehicle. If you give it watered down, dirty gasoline, that's probably how you're gonna go. If you're gonna give it a greasy cheeseburger, that's probably how you're gonna feel, like a greasy cheeseburger. But if you give it that full synthetic stuff, you get that really good like BJ booster juice, or maybe like eat your greens. Then that's how your mind's gonna go, and that's how your day is gonna go. That's what I truly believe.
Yeah, that's great advice, I guess. Now going on to advice. Now knowing what you know now, what advice would you give yourself to that person when you were starting? If you were your own coach, so to speak.
Well, to be honest, like I think with Indigenous people, like especially on a reserve, there's not much to do on a reserve, and sometimes you could be in a home where like bad things are happening. Mm-hmm. There could be domestic, there could be a lot of drinking, there could be a lot of drugs, and sometimes you don't have nowhere to go. And but if you aim at something all the time, then you have somewhere to go. So I think it's very important to always have something. If aiming at nothing, you'll hit nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're aiming at something, you'll and keep gradually working towards it, even though it feels hopeless sometimes. But if you keep going towards it, it'll happen. Trust me, it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
It will happen. Just like that cruise to Yellowknife. I didn't think I was actually going to fight in a cage, and I didn't actually think this Skoden guy was going to be screaming his head off. But
Your only fan.
my best fan ever. I don't even know his name, but I hope he's doing good. The Skoden guy. But if I was to tell myself, my younger self, like for me, my dad had insane, like my blood dad had insane alcohol addiction, and he basically did it right till he passed away. So for me and my younger self, I've been on the sober journey for a bit here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's absolutely amazing. You don't really need you don't need substances to have a good time. And if I was to tell my younger self anything, I would tell him, just don't even drink or
Mm-hmm.
do anything that makes you get rid of your depression and anything. I would be like, Regan, do not do the stuff. If I got into a time machine and told myself that, but that's what I tell myself: live the sober life. You don't need substances to have a good time. I'll tell you that. I went to a concert recently, and me and my friend are both on like this sobriety wagon, and usually we go to metal shows and we would have drinks. We would have even before we get into the building, we would have drinks. But this time we both went to the bar and we just got a Red Bull and water, and then we just looked at each other. I was like, holy, we're boring. We both just started laughing. And then the concert started, and then at the end of the concert, to be honest, it was super fun. You don't need booze, you don't need weed, you don't need any drugs to have a good time. It was absolutely amazing. And usually people that really get drink and stuff, they don't even remember the end of the show. They're like, hey, what did they play last? And you know what I mean? But this time I remember everything of this concert, and it's just a
different experience.
it's an awesome experience. You do not need booze to have a good time. I'll say that.
Well, thank you for that advice. Do you have any other areas of interest, talents, hobbies? Or is your life just strictly MMA training?
There's quite a few things that I do.
You said doo-doo.
I did say doo-doo. That is that means baby in Blackwood. Just to whoever's listening.
I was thinking about crap. Sorry, my mind's elsewhere.
Oh, Jesus. So I ever since I started doing this short film, I'm really into film now. So I want to get more into that, and
Mm-hmm.
I do have a few ideas. I like to draw. I like to paint. I like to go surfing. I like to ski. I do a lot of stuff. It's kind of out of. Sometimes my folks tell me, you just gotta calm down, man.
You're always on the go.
Always on the go. But for me, I gotta keep my mind busy.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, as I said before, it's very important to balance out your medicine wheel. So now I've been really, yoga is very good for that. I like to go to hot yoga because yoga taught me how to breathe. When you're stressed out and stuff, just learn, just take a deep breath, maybe 5 or 10 of them, and maybe say a prayer or something. Say a prayer for your enemies if you have to. If you if you keep your mind busy all the time, and as I said before, if you have something that you're aiming for, life is, or put yourself in very uncomfortable positions all the time. For example, a lot of people don't like to go to the gym after work because they're already tuckered out. They're just like, but like me, I'll go to the gym. I'll probably get beat up by, my boys, but it'll make me stronger. It's weird. We punch each other to make each other stronger. But we're good friends. We're very good friends. It's like it's a disciplined martial arts, right? Mm-hmm. So, and even after that, like I'll go to a cold tub. If you ever go to a cold tub and sit in there for at least a minute, it is insane. Mm-hmm. But once you get used to it, it's you'll love it. But I'll go in there and then the sauna, and I'll be in the sauna for like about maybe half hour. Mm-hmm. And I'll just like say prayers. I like to think that I'm in a sweat when I'm in the sauna. But this is putting yourself in very painful situations. And it's all the time. People don't want to do that. But for me, when I do that type of stuff, and when something like, life isn't always going to be great. So when something does bad happen in life, it's not that bad, if you would say, because you're already putting yourself in insane struggling and suffering, but it's making you a better person. Mm-hmm. So when you're putting yourself in those situations, and when something bad happens in life, you could take it a little bit better. Other than when you're not doing stuff like that and something bad happens, you get very depressed. But you learn how to deal with your demons a lot better. A lot of people don't like to face their own demons. Me, I like to go in that demon chamber and say, "Hey, what's up? What's up, man?"
A little high five, fist bump. Let's do this. Wow. So 2 more questions. I guess, or actually, I have 3. Do you have any other goals besides your training and whatnot that you wish to accomplish? Just even small, little personal goals, or?
It's cool you say that. For small personal goals, actually lead up to very big little goals. Sometimes even just doing the dishes is a little goal. Making your bed, like these are very little goals, but it leads to very big stuff. I believe in energy, so you could be having a really awesome morning. Maybe your spouse cooked you some awesome like pancakes, and you feel very good in the morning. You have these awesome green energy balls. You know what I mean? And they're all surrounding you with these green energy balls. And then next you know, there's this one dude. I don't know, someone pissed in his cornflakes, or he's just having a very bad morning, he or she, and they come in and they have all these dark energy balls around, and then these energy balls are attacking your green balls, and you're just like, hey man, leave my green balls alone, and be like, I need you to go breathe outside for a bit there. I'll say a prayer for you. But I totally believe in energy and how you wake up and stuff. So anyway, small little goals like that. That kind of went off topic, but
balls, right? Yeah, I dig it.
But yeah, just mainly one of the main goals is to. I kind of realized when I started doing classes at Many Guns Boxing Gym that there is a lot of the youth and a lot of people that are interested into getting into combat fighting, or even just getting into shape. And for me, I want to inspire my people to live a healthy, active lifestyle. Even just going to the gym for maybe like 15-20 minutes a day. But with the warriors that we do have, we got to pick up the warriors that are struggling. So I really want to make our people to balance out their medicine wheels and bring our old warrior ways back. And Chief Crowfoot's watching, and he'll definitely be proud of that. And another goal would be to make an awesome film. I love horror movies, so that's definitely in there.
Definitely in the works. Yeah. So we can expect something like that from you. And then what was on your bucket list, at least this year?
Like the last 2 weeks? Probably get the Christmas shopping out of the way.
Okay, for the new year. For the bucket list, like I said, maybe just help out my people. Keep this sober journey going, and visit family a lot more. Help out my family a lot more, and get some more MMA fighters out of Siksika Nation, and probably eat healthier this year. No more combo E's. Only on Sundays. I mean, no other big plans, like going on vacation somewhere, or anything for yourself.
Yeah, I do treat myself. I'm not like a crazy work all the time type of thing. Like I love to. I want to get a band going, and I'm planning to go to Thailand. So Thailand is on the list. I wouldn't mind fighting in Thailand. There's some awesome beaches there. Mm-hmm. Indonesia. I definitely want to travel to those. And also Metallica and Pantera is coming to Edmonton, so I'm very stoked for that.
Oh, yes, that's right. And then one last question. In your career, you've seen a fair bit of places and people. What was the most impactful visit or person that you've met?
Oh, sorry. Back to the question before that. I do have a goal that I forgot about. I told myself that I want to learn Blackfoot even more this year. So I told my mom to stop talking to me in English. It's like, just talk to me in Blackfoot. I don't understand it, then explain it to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's like, I think that's the best way to learn Blackfoot is like, that's how they learned. They were spoken to that.
Well, it's like English, right?
Yeah.
Just so they spoke to us in English. Speak English.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think it's very important that most of us like Blackfoots, like the language is dying, and the generations that do know it, like it's very important that I think that we learn our language, because even in like praying and in ceremonies, like I don't know, like 50 years from now we'll be speaking English, like in the
yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think this year I really want to try and learn Blackfoot as much as possible. If I could learn the Blackfoot prayer, that'd be absolutely amazing. But if you're gonna learn Blackfoot, go 1 word a day or 2 words. If you're gonna try to learn a whole sentence, it's not gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Just do like me. I'll be like, okay, here's the Blackfoot word. I'm going to try to use it in this sentence this way, this way, this way, this way. But in different ways. Just that 1 word. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yes, do that. And honestly, I wouldn't mind getting into power dancing. Mm-hmm. I've been really thinking about power dancing. I'm not too sure what yet, but chicken looks pretty cool. And Fancy looks pretty cool as well.
I think you'd suit Fancy, to be honest. Like, I can imagine you in your little outfit. Awesome. But yeah, Fancy. Awesome. I think you'd suit Fancy.
You have a vision. That is awesome.
Yes.
Maybe I'll fulfill that vision.
I'm a very visual person. So.
Yeah, it'd be super cool to definitely get more connected with the POW and like our traditions even more.
Mm-hmm. That should be a bucket list for everyone, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then going back to the language, I find it a lot kind of easier to figure out when you're listening to the tone, like what they're like when they're telling you or when they're talking to you. Mm-hmm. Just kind of listen out for the tone, because you can kind of get a general idea of what they're what they're asking of you or what they're telling you. I always kind of found that easy. To figure out what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
But then there's just some that just kind of like when they talk to you, it's just like a straight tone. Like it's kind of hard to read what they're saying.
Yeah.
And then it gets a little embarrassing to ask, like, what? And then, oh yeah, my last question. The people and places. Which one was the most impressionable one you met?
People and places. Okay, I got one little story to end off. This interview is absolutely amazing. I love it. I love it. So I had a fight scheduled in Grand Prairie, and like I was doing weight cut. Weight cut is very like I walk around at 200. 205, but I usually fight at 170, and cutting 30 pounds 35 pounds is pretty like it gets to you.
Do you get delusions, or you seeing visions losing all that weight?
Honestly, it is like that. You do see visions. You definitely see visions. That's how like the old Blackwoods used to do it. If like we're depressed, it'd be like the chief will tell you, go hike to the top of that mountain until you see what you gotta do. Yeah. And that's what we gotta do. And hopefully we don't get attacked by wolves.
Well, there wouldn't be much to eat because you'd be bones. I think you're good.
They'll just leave you alone. Won't even bother.
Anyway, yes.
Okay, so I got this fight with Excessive Force Fighting Championship, and it was all the way in Grand Prairie. And Grand Prairie is how far of a drive is that from Calgary? It was pretty far. It was like ridiculously far. I just want to see.
Yeah, that's south, right?
Sorry, people.
It's got to be at least like.
It's 8 hours from
holy
here.
Shit.
7 hours and 51 minutes. So, my coach Justin Smith, he pulled out last minute. He had to do something. I was like, damn, okay. And then my other coach, Mark, he pulled out last minute. And I asked my friend, and he pulled out right in the morning and said he couldn't go. And I was doing weight cut. So I basically had the decision to like say no and don't do this fight because it's very sketchy trying to do weight cut and drive in 8 hours. But I was like, screw it, I'm going to do it. So I got in my vehicle, put a bunch of water in there, and I started driving. And it was probably the most hardest drive I've ever did. If you're drinking nothing but water, you're super hungry, and you're like driving 8 hours to get somewhere. And anyways, I had to pull over on the side of the road many times because I was getting very dizzy, and I had no other choice but to actually eat a little bit of beef jerky. But you got to be careful what you eat. I wouldn't be able to eat like a full 2 beef jerkies. Otherwise, I'd be like a couple pounds over, and I won't be able to fight. Anyways, I pulled over. I started saying prayers and started drinking water and all this stuff. And then finally, I could see in a distance Grand Prairie, and on my GPS it said it was very close. And I was like, oh, thank you, Creator. I'm here. And when I got to this place, it was very close to weigh-ins already. I probably had half hour, and I checked my weight, and I still had to cut 2 more pounds, probably because of the beef jerky I ate.
Yep.
Anyways, I went into the bathroom. I covered the bottom with a towel, and I just blasted like the shower, the hot water, and I just started working out in there. And then I just covered myself in a blanket and a bunch of towels, and then I got out of it and I checked my weight, and I was on weight. I was like, oh, finally. So I ran downstairs, and you see all these fight teams. all these fight teams were like ready to go. All their coaches were with them, and there was just me by myself. Anyways, I went up. They called my name versus Jackson Fontaine. That was the guy that was fighting, and we squared off. I made weight, and I was so happy that I made weight because after you make weight, you could go eat. Mm-hmm. And anyways, when I went back to my seat, a lot of people came up to me. They're just like, "Who you with? Where's your team, man?" Like, oh, they're just me. They all have to pull out. They're all busy. They all have to do something. Mm-hmm. And so one of the coaches, he said to come across the road and like have some like spaghetti with their team and all that stuff. And there was another person that I bumped into, and it was Zachary Menuins from Sutina. He was fighting on the same card, mm-hmm. and his dad Dean was there as well. Anyways, they ended up cornering me for this fight, and I'll like never forget it. They have a special place in my heart. Otherwise, I'd just be by myself or like just some nappy going I don't even know in my corner. But it was awesome. They cornered me, and Jackson Fontaine is insane ground specialist. And there's a lot of times where he almost tapped me out. And there was one time I think if there was one more minute in the second round, he would have beat me. Mm-hmm. He had a triangle on my neck, and I just remember the crowd going crazy, and like it was just getting black. It was just getting black, and I was almost blacked out. But the buzzer went off, and his legs unwrapped, and I was like, holy crap. And my legs were like almost giving out. Anyways, the third round came. I started kicking his legs and keeping the distance. I didn't want him getting close to me because like he was very good on the ground. So I picked apart his leg, and his leg was just like done. I ended up winning unanimous decision, and that was probably the best victory I've ever had. Just because I did it all alone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And
well, you had your vision, remember?
I had the vision. I had the vision, and like when I came to Grand Prairie, it was a major struggle. It was almost to the point of driving back, almost like passing out on the road driving, and it's mm-hmm. just like coming back. I had the most energy. I felt like I was like I was the happiest person ever, and that drive back home was so easy. It mm-hmm. was so easy, and I was just the best moment of my life. But Zachary Menuins, if you do get to listen to this, and Dean, much appreciated for you guys. Much respect for being in my corner that time.
Thanks for the shout out. But did you eat the rest of that beef jerky on your way home?
The beef jerky I actually ate right after the weigh-ins. And I also ate a full, well, actually, because I ate like your eyes are bigger than
your stomach.
Yeah, and your stomach when you're cutting weight, it shrinks, right? Mm-hmm. So I ordered a full plate of spaghetti, but I was only able to eat like maybe just half of it.
Section of it.
Yeah, I was just like, but,
one or two noodles.
Yeah, that's 2 noodles and a meatball. That was it.
Or it's like during Christmas, what was it, Mickey Mouse or something? Their Christmas Carol, and they're just cutting that bean. Oh,
yeah. I remember that as a kid. Holy cow! I just you brought up a flashback. That's for sure.
I always just thought of that because it was a meme one year, and people couldn't really afford to buy gifts, so they showed that scene where they're cutting that bean. But thanks for joining me today. It was a fun conversation. Again, I'm Jasmine Majoros, and this is Regan Running Rabbit. Oh, and for the record, what's your what do they say? The fight numbers?
For
yourself. Oh,
it's I'm actually 3-1 right now. For my Muay Thai, undefeated.
Great. Awesome. Okay. Thanks for coming.